My Name is Earl was a show that aired in 2005 and ran for 4 seasons without coming to a conclusive end, but we'll talk about that later. The main characters are Randy Hickey and Earl Hickey, played by Ethan Supple and Jason Lee. Um, this show is about a man who, by all accounts, was a criminal. He would steal, he would vandalize, he would cheat, just anything you think a criminal would do, he's probably done it, except maybe like a petty criminal, not like a major like murder type criminal. He was just like a petty thief, if that makes sense. Who finds karma and uses that principle to make his life better. It starts with Earl Hickey using a couple's naivety in this small town to his advantage. See, this couple, they stop at this small town gas station. They don't lock their doors. They don't even really roll up their windows. And Earl takes this opportunity to loot their car and grab a couple dollars. Afterwards, he walks into the gas station and buys himself a lottery ticket with the money that he had stolen from this couple's car. He scratches off the lottery ticket and realizes that it is a huge winner, like a mega million winner. And he's excited because he just won the lottery. So he's screaming, he's dancing, he's like, woohoo! And he runs into the road and gets hit by an old lady. And it has that like classic old lady scream, like, ah! It's really funny, actually. So he gets hit by this old lady and ends up in the hospital. He has a few broken bones. He's basically like loopy from being in surgery. His brother, Randy Hickey, is laying on the couch. And he's like, bro, what happened? Soon enough, his wife, Joy, walks in and serves him divorce papers. So this man, he's on a low. He's divorced. He just got into a car accident. He doesn't know where his lottery ticket went. He basically has nothing except for his brother in this hospital room. So he's kind of just watching TV, like not knowing what else he could do. Still a little drugged up. And on comes the Carson Daly Show. I have no clue what that is because I'm not that old, but I'm gathering it's like a late night TV show, talk show with someone named Carson Daly, who I don't even know who that is, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, on the Carson Daly Show, there is a man who talks about karma. And he talks about how if you do bad things happen, but if you do good things happen. And it is about like karmic justice. So Earl Hickey, he gets this idea to live by karma's rules, because how it seems is he did so many bad things that last bad thing was the tip of it all. Like, that is karma striking back at him, and he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want karma to kill him, you know? So he decides to make a list of every bad thing that he's ever done, and one by one, he starts fixing them, starts going to the people, apologizing to them, and asking them how he could make it up to them. Now, the first episode, honestly, probably would not have, like, flown by in today's world, because the first episode, he essentially goes to the only gay character in town. It's not really the only gay person, but at the moment, this is what we know. This is the only gay guy in town, in this small town. And his name is Kenny. He is also in, let me see what his name is. Greg Binkley. So if you've ever seen Raising Hope, he plays the manager there. He's also in a few other things. But Kenny used to be this boy that was constantly bullied by Earl during childhood, constantly given wedgies, constantly beat up, constantly having his lunch money taken, just all of that. So Earl figures this is probably the easiest one, like a childhood bully is probably the easiest thing to like get past as like a first list item. So he figures out where Kenny lives, and Kenny, when Earl knocks on Kenny's door, Kenny is freaked out because he just thinks that Earl's going to like beat the hell out of him. So of course he sprays Earl with mace, and like Earl, he goes down for the count, not really, but like a little bit, until Kenny helps him out. Like he basically, Earl and Randy tell him like, you need to put milk in my eyes, because of course they've been like maced multiple times. They're both criminals. Which, by the way, Randy is Earl's little brother, if that wasn't clear. Basically, they start talking, Earl and Kenny, and like Earl's trying to figure out like what he could do to help Kenny, because Kenny, he has a nice house, he keeps his car looking pretty nice, his yard is pretty nice. So Earl's not really entirely sure what he could do to help him. They kind of start talking, and Earl's like, "Oh, I know, like I'll find you someone you could be with, like I'll get you laid." And Kenny, he's like, "Oh, like I don't know." And then at this exact moment, Randy finds a gay nude magazine, and he drops it on the floor. Earl looks at it. They both kind of put their hands up and walk very slowly back towards the front door, and then out the door, and then they turn around and run. Look, so that wouldn't, I mean, a lot of people nowadays would have been so offended, I feel like. And I don't even think that it would be the queer community that would be offended, because I'm queer, and that scene remains to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because they didn't get angry, they didn't like start beating Kenny up or anything. They literally dropped the magazine, put their hands up, and like they looked like deer caught in headlights. Like they did not know what to say. And like this is a very, very small like hick town, so they kind of just like back up, and like that's so funny to me. Like I always make jokes because like I'm a funny guy, and I always make jokes about like spreading the gay, and like that in my mind, that scene in my mind reminds me of like the spreading the gay, you know what I mean? Anyways, so like later on, Randy and Earl, they're back in their like hotel thing because Earl's ex-wife kicked him out, and now they live in a hotel. It's really shady. There's hookers there. It's just, think of small town. Like, there's probably people doing the fentanyl, like, you know, that type of hotel. And Earl and Randy, they're sitting in their room, and Earl is freaked out. He's like, what do we do? Like, I don't know how to help him. And Randy's like, well, we can't help him. And Earl's like, well, what do you mean? Like, we have to. And then Earl's like, okay, I guess we can't. And then, so earlier, he had found his lottery scratch ticket when he was cleaning up some trash. But again, after making the decision to not help Kenny, he loses it. And after that, he's like, fuck, like, I guess I'll go help Kenny. So he goes, he knocks on the door again, and Kenny's like, are you gonna kill me? Like, what's going on? Like, am I about to get hate crime? And Earl is like, no, like, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have reacted like that. I really truly do want to help you. Like, I want to make this right. And I just need you to tell me what to do to make it right. And Kenny is like, well, I've never been to a gay bar. And Earl is like, okay, I guess I'll go to a gay bar with you. Like, I'll be your wingman. And so they do. They go to this little gay bar. Like, Kenny's like, having a little fruity drink. Randy, he's dancing with some people. There's bubbles. Earl is like, who would have ever thought that I'd be at a gay bar? And Kenny is like, honestly, Earl, like, this is the best thing you could have done for me. Seeing my childhood bully, seeing the man that made me afraid of who I am, be okay with this type of thing, that makes me feel better about myself. And it's just like this like healing moment for Kenny, like this moment where he sees that someone who was completely utterly terrible to him is doing something nice, doing something kind, tolerating his sexuality when previously he would have been super homophobic and he would have been super just like weird about it. Like, that's healing. To see like your op like change his mind, like, that's healing, And that episode, I grazed over a lot of it because like some of the things are important but they aren't important. But I just think that this show would have been canceled if it were put out nowadays, because it has jokes that aren't necessarily like politically correct, but it does it in a way that's, they don't just make fun of one person, if that makes sense. They don't make fun of one, like, race. They don't make fun of one sexuality. They don't do it, like, horribly either. Like, if they do make a gay joke, they're not making, like, a crazy, crazy, crazy gay joke. They're making a gay joke that it's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm a deer caught in headlights. You know what I mean? They're making a joke where a homeless man hugs Earl and takes Earl's ex-wife's shoes. You know what I mean? Like, that to me, like, if you're going to joke about a certain group, you have to do it tastefully, in a way that is maybe like a little eyebrow raise, but it's not offensive, if that makes sense. Because everybody has a sense of humor. Everybody has things that they find funny that aren't completely politically correct, but you just have to learn how to not cross that line. And I feel like My Name is Earl did that very well. I think that My Name is Earl's not politically correct jokes were done tastefully, especially since it was during 2005, where that was the height of homophobia, transphobia, slurs, like really bad racism jokes. They never did blackface in My Name is Earl, and I feel like that's like kind of popular with a lot of like adulter shows, I would guess, if that makes sense. I don't know, like My Name is Earl kind of tackles a few issues, makes light jokes, but also like there's learning in this show. And that to me shows good character development, I guess, and good character development is important to a show, because season 1 Earl, he's so much different than season 4 Earl. Even though season 4 leaves on a huge cliffhanger and never like finishes, or there's, oh, it frustrates me so bad. But like, they're different. Like season 4 Earl, he is good for the sake of good, and he doesn't like question himself. He doesn't like, I don't know, he doesn't doubt that karma is working. And season 1 Earl, he's confused. He doesn't really like, he believes in it but he doesn't until it like karma itself like shows him that it's like listening and paying attention. And I don't know, I just think that it's like a super interesting show, like a super interesting concept, because not a lot of shows, or I don't know, I've never seen really another show that tackles the concept of karma quite like My Name is Earl does. And also, as someone from a small town, I know what it like. I see Earl Hickey all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I see Joy Turner and Darnell. You know, like, I see all of these characters in people that I know in real life, because these people, they're relatable, I would say. Personally, I would say that I'm kind of Kenny, like, kind of slay. But I don't know. I just think that any show that can have a super cool concept, plus like really good character development, and honestly really good characters, is perfect. And it deserves a remake. Like, it deserves another season, because I heard the actor for Randy, what's his name? Ethan Supple. I hope I'm saying that right. He went on a podcast maybe a year or so ago, and he said that the true ending for My Name is Earl is that, like, Earl would meet someone, and that someone would have a list because they were inspired by Earl. They were inspired to do better, and multiple people would be coming to Earl and coming to those other people and showing them that they have lists. Like, it's like a whole like beehive, like it branches out to multiple people making this self-discovery, making this discovery of karma, and realizing that they need to do better, that karmic justice is going to catch up with them either way, and they need to right themselves. And I personally would love to see that. I would love to see more of My Name is Earl, especially, oh my gosh, especially with Ethan Supple looking so fine. Oh my gosh, like, Randy in the show, he's alright, not gonna lie. Like, I was always like an Earl girl, but Ethan Supple, Randy's actor, he is fit, he is older, he is fine. And so is Jason Lee, but I'm just saying, like, I would love to see jacked Randy. You know, like, that would be awesome. And like, other characters, now that I'm on this rant and I've gone off script because I don't have a script anyways, let's talk about the other characters. So you already know about Earl and Randy, the show's two main characters, but we will talk about Joy and Darnell. So Joy is Earl Hickey's ex-wife. Basically, she was pregnant, got married to him, like, literally she got him drunk and then, like, married him, and he thought that he really just drank away the last 9 months. And the baby did kind of come out looking like him, so he's like, yeah, like, that's my baby. You know what I mean? So, Joy, she is, how do I say this? Like, trailer trash. And I mean this in the most loving way, because Joy is hot. Joy, she is fine as hell. And she's a little firecracker. She's got herself a temper. She's always saying, like, oh, snap. Like, she has this, like, thick, like, country accent. It's not like a country accent. I guess it would be like trailer park accent, how I would say it. But she's just a girl, and I don't know, I kind of love her even though she's kind of like a jerk sometimes. I think that she is girl boss. She has a lot of funny like insults, and I don't know, she's just slay. Her husband Darnell, aka Crabman, works at the Crab Shack. He's the crab man. Like, he makes the crabs. He makes food. He is the father to... Oh. Well, I guess, like, for most of the TV show, he is the father. I think his name is Dodge. Or is Dodge the first son and Earl Jr. the second son? I think Earl Jr. is the second son. Anyways, he's the father to one of Joy's children, but spoiler, in the second season you find out that he's not really related. Like, he's not really the kid's dad. Anyways, Crabman, he's such a nice, lovable character. He's very much, I would say himbo, but he's not really of the stature to be a himbo. So he's kind of like, how would I say it? Like, straight twink. Like, he's just kind of like... I just realized what I said. I just called Crabman a straight twink. I feel like that should be the end of this video because now I feel bad. But yeah, they're very lovable characters. There's also Patty the daytime hooker. She's pretty cool. There's Catalina, which I don't know why I mentioned Patty before I mentioned Catalina, because Catalina is like one of the main characters, like the main characters. So Catalina, she is a maid at the hotel that, well, I guess it's a motel that Earl and Randy are living in. She comes from Mexico. She has a really intense backstory, but she is very awesome, very lovable, and she is hot as hell. Like, I can say that this show has some really hot female characters. Like, I don't know, I'm living in a small town. I haven't really seen anyone that's like Catalina worthy. If you know, you know. Maybe Joy. I might have seen a Joy around here, but Catalina. Yeah, what else should I talk about for My Name is Earl? I don't know. It's on Hulu. It's a very good watch. I believe it's made by the same people who's made Raising Hope, which, fun fact, there is an episode of Raising Hope where all of the main characters from My Name is Earl appear, and it's really awesome. I don't know, very cool crossover episode, except they're like Jason Lee and the other cast, they go by different names in Raising Hope, but it's fine, it's whatever. And I believe the producers also made a show called The Guest Book, which that show, really funny, great watch. I don't know, I think I just enjoy anything that those producers make. If you've ever seen it, I guess just leave a comment, tell me what you thought about the cliffhanger. Like, subscribe. Love you.